Conjuring Tapes is a 2025 horror film directed by Robert Livings and Randy Nundlall Jr. and it's written by Ben Groves Livings, Rob Macfarlane, Randy Nundlall Jr. and Peter Paskulich. And in general, I like the concept. I don't really like the execution, but there are some good moments and there are some other good points as well. The performances are very good. There are some moments that are quite scary, and without spoilers, I will tell you what those moments are in a moment. And I'd say that the camera work is very, very good. There are some really good bits of camera work. The concept involves two girls who are sorting through their late friend's belongings and they come across some VHS tapes and they play the tapes as one would, and on those tapes they see footage of themselves doing things they don't remember. And the first clip, for example, I won't go into too much detail, but the first clip involves a Ouija board. And I will say the first clip was very long. It took us a long time to actually cut back to the girls watching the tape. And I would have liked more frequent reactions of how they were feeling watching this, because that's where a lot of the fear is, of wondering what on earth they're watching, how is this possible? But it doesn't cut back to them enough for us to get their reactions and to feel the fear that they are feeling. So I think there was definitely room for improvement there. But that aside, that first video clip, the first VHS tape, was really great. It was very atmospheric. Even from the very beginning, it felt like there was something going to happen. It felt quite tense, and there were some great jump scares there. I really enjoyed it and it felt very believable. The performances within that tape of the characters reacting to what was happening, I thought was very convincing. So I really enjoyed that. And then after that, the tapes we see, in my opinion, are very boring. Very, very dull. Very, very slow. Not scary. And again, we don't cut back to outside of the tapes anywhere near as much for my liking. And I'm not a fan of choppy editing in general. I don't like it when we jump back and forth between stories or when we're looking at something else and then jumping back to the real world, because I find it to be jarring. But with this one, it needed to be done more than it was, because I just wasn't feeling the fear that the girls would be feeling as they're watching themselves doing things they have no recollection of doing. And that would genuinely be a scary concept. But we don't get to see that fear very much, so we don't get to feel it. The tapes themselves, apart from the first one, aren't that scary, so the horror element there isn't very good either. Yes, within the tapes, the camera work is good, the performances are good. I guess the stories themselves are not that bad. They're just not very scary, apart from the first one. And then, I won't say what happens towards the end, but I'd say the horror does pick back up again towards the end. I'd say maybe the last 10-15 minutes. I didn't time it, but certainly towards the end, things get a little bit more intense and it picked back up. So it's an okay film. It is watchable. The narrative's not very well handled. I didn't really find it scary for the most part, but the concept is interesting. So if you're curious, I'd say check it out. It's not the best experience. There are definitely very specific ways in which this could be improved, but I didn't hate it. I didn't come away from it feeling like it was a waste of time, and there were some scary moments. So all things considered, Conjuring Tapes is an okay film. It's not the best, but I didn't dislike it, and if you're curious, then I'd say maybe it's worth watching.